Hello, everyone. Today's chess puzzle.
Er.
We've got
Okay.
a king on A7, pawn on B6,
Okay.
and a knight on H4 for
Right.
white.
Okay.
Black has a
Yeah.
bishop on B7 and a king on C6.
Gotcha.
Let's get this going.
Okay.
Now, that knight on H4
Right.
looks pretty restricted, right?
It does, yeah.
It can only hop over to F5 or G2.
Mm.
And you might think, great, Black's bishop controls that long diagonal hemming in the white king.
Right. Right.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
That white king on A7,
Yeah.
it's more powerful than it looks.
It is.
What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That king is in a really interesting position because even though it looks trapped,
Right.
it has this little bit of space to maneuver, and that's what white needs to capitalize on.
So what we're really looking at is how to use that knight to, like,
Yes. All about the knight.
kind of work around that bishop.
Exactly.
And it creates some pressure.
Pressure creates some threats.
Yeah.
Force Black to make some decisions.
So if I'm thinking about my first move,
Okay.
I'm not looking to trap the black king immediately.
Right.
I want to improve my position right.
Absolutely. It's a slow burn.
It's not about checkmate right away.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, I think I see it.
You got it.
The answer is white. Knight H4 to F5.
Okay. Good move.
Black. Bishop B7 to A8.
That makes sense.
White. Knight F5 to D4.
Uh-huh.
Black. King C6 to C5.
Right.
White. Knight D4 to E6.
Nice.
Black. King C7 to D6. White. Black. Knight E6 to C7.
Okay. Things are getting interesting.
Black. Bishop A8 to B7.
I see.
White. Knight C7 D7.
Uh-huh.
Black. Mate C7 to C8.
Yeah, right.
White. Knight D5 to E7.
Yeah.
Black. King C6 to D7.
Okay.
White. Knight E7 to C8.
There it is. That's the final move.
And that's where we end up.
Yep. White's knight is sitting pretty on C8.
Okay, so let's break it down. When I moved my knight to F5, Black had to pull that bishop back to A8.
Right. Had to.
I guess they were worried about me taking it.
Exactly. That bishop was vulnerable.
So then,
Yeah.
by hopping to D4,
Yeah.
the knight starts to open up some really interesting lines of attack.
It does. It really does.
Then it's a slow march across the board,
Yep.
always keeping Black on the defensive.
That's the key.
When the knight finally lands on C8,
Right.
it's not checkmate,
No.
but it's
But it's powerful.
pretty dominant, right?
Oh, absolutely. White has achieved what we call a superior position.
Okay.
That knight controls key squares,
Uh-huh.
limiting Black's options.
Right.
The Black king is pushed back,
Yeah.
and the bishop is stuck doing very little.
So from here,
Yeah.
what can White do?
Well, White is in a great spot to launch further attacks
Okay.
or control the game from here.
I see.
It's really about using that advantage to dictate the flow of the game.
And in chess, that's
Absolutely.
what it's all about.
It's a game of strategy and long-term planning.
Exactly.
This puzzle is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, you don't always have to go for the immediate kill.
Yep.
Sometimes it's about the slow and steady pressure.
Exactly. Sometimes the most effective way to win is to just squeeze your opponent.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time
Okay.
for another chess puzzle deep dive.
Sounds good.
All right, take care.
You too.